Hey, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's good, everybody? It's your boy Sech Meddez. Another day, another week, another edition, another episode.
Another
of
dollar.
And I'm not rolling alone. I'm with the usual suspects. It's Cosmo.
What up?
The voice.
Okay.
What's going on? What's good, guys?
Why was that soft with me?
Because you bring it up, you bring it lower, or whatever the case. How are you guys?
Good. It was a good week. I'm happy to be back so that we can debrief on Valentine's weekend with the boys.
No, we're not doing that.
Because they were here acting like champions last week. I want to see if they succeeded in their heroism. So, gentlemen.
You wanna go, dog?
You can go.
Now you can go, but I actually didn't succeed, but let's go.
You didn't succeed. Why?
If at first you don't succeed.
You didn't try again. What happened? What happened?
I'm
I had so
joking,
much
man.
faith in you.
I'm joking. So it was really chilled in the sense that we started on Friday with my wife, and it pretty much transpired the way that I hoped it would, in the sense that I did mention to you guys that I'm making more effort in trying to understand and doing the things that really, like, she really cares about, and I don't do my own thing. Even in me doing my own thing, I at least do what she wants to do. So woke up on Saturday and prepared like a young something Yana for her out of the kitchen, and then while I was doing that, she's getting ready and everything. I woke up early, got myself in the love mode or whatever the case might be, and I wrote something down for her, like traditional. Like I wrote down a letter for her, which is something that I did when I first asked her out. I would write her notes or whatever the case might be. So I wrote it, like, not notes, love letter. So I wrote her something this time again. And I took the page out the book before writing, and I actually realized I had more to say. So I just went on and wrote, and I slipped it under the pillow for her. So when she puts her PJs back, she'll find something. And then, so that's how the day started. And then
That's so cute.
And then when she found the letter, she came back, eyes bawling, and then it just basically set up the day for us. And then we just went on and started talking for like hours and
that's good.
spending some QT together. And then we just prepared a whole lot of food inside, like at home. Then we got takeouts for dinner, and then we watched a lot of movies and stayed had a staycation.
First Valentine's as a married couple.
It was really special. And
That's nice. You know what? I like the sentimentality of it because, sometimes people think they need to go over the top extravagant. Like, I need to spend all my money.
Yeah.
No, sometimes it's not about the consumerism. Sometimes it really is about the connection. So shout out to you for also thinking about that. And also it was a little nostalgic with the throwback letters at least.
100%.
So.
Yeah. I enjoyed it.
Why are we talking about this?
Because I said we want to debrief.
We're talking about something else.
We're debriefing, Thabang.
Guys, I'm trying to find a song that I recorded.
You wrote
a song.
Did you perform it?
I just.
Can you perform it for us?
Please.
So it's actually a classic. It's a house song, Alex Kidd.
Okay.
Love You Had.
Yes.
So I did my own rendition.
Okay.
Yes. So the instrumental is like a piano. Let me see if I can find it.
Okay.
Because
We're just debriefing.
The thing is, you shouldn't have told us last week that you were gonna write
So
this
now
song. Because
expectations
now we want to see if we can load it on Apple Music and make some money.
What if?
Get a publisher, go on tour. I put the voice in the gang. We'll be in the back. I'll just do the choreo in the back. Sech is gonna play the guitar or something.
So this is actually the piano.
Okay.
Yeah. So this was the piano. And then how I start. So I start like...
What key were you singing in, though?
Give it.
Ooh, darling.
Oh.
Come on now. Ooh, sugar. Yeah. Do-do, 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 do-do.
Oh, you guys are so cute.
And this is how it goes, right? And then it goes like this. Roses are red, violets are blue, honey is sweet, and so are you. And since I've met you, my life has been so good. Yeah.
Yes.
And then it's like, roses are red, violets are blue, honey is sweet, and so are you. And since I've met you, my life has been so good. And that's why I know what a love we have.
Oh, wow.
Right. I know what a love we share. Oh, darling, won't you cry? Something like that. 'Cause it's a you. Yeah. And then it says, I know what a love we have. Oh, what a love we have. Sure, this is love we have. Oh, darling, won't. Yeah.
I want them all.
Manana ain't got on you.
We're going on tour, baby. I'm telling
on
you.
tour.
We're also going to be posting our dates. Make sure that you look out for it. It's going to be out on Instagram. It's going to be on YouTube. Check it out. Going on the road, baby.
Yeah.
It's a band.
But it's so interesting, right? And I didn't want to talk about this, but I think it's worth talking about. The Friday we had a riff, my wife and I.
Okay.
So something happened. She did something.
Obviously.
And it's so interesting because I was telling my friend, he's about to get married, Spoo. And I said to him, my wife and I, we fight differently now. And he's like, yo, what do you mean? And I'm like, before, like we would fight and then there's that silence, right? But now it's like we fight and then like either minutes later or like 2 hours later, like that's resolved. Because I started to learn what leadership is, particularly when you're married and in the household. So I need to foster leadership in my household. So if I prolong certain things, it's like, am I actually leading? Yeah, sometimes like you get annoyed, and I'm not saying as a person you must not feel what you're feeling, but I think it's very important that you regulate and not prolong seasons that are not supposed to be prolonged. So it's been very interesting, like this past year, because next month rather, we're celebrating our first year anniversary. It's so crazy. And I think from like the many education I've had being married, like this one really stands out to say, I cultivate the tone in the household in terms of like leadership, etc. So it forces you to, I guess for lack of a better word, face certain things that you don't want to face at that particular time. Sometimes you're like, let me just sweep it under the carpet and then get at some point. But it's like, no, you have to like face it. Yeah. So it's been interesting.
That's good.
That's crazy.
And then the love day, Valentine. How did she receive the song?
My wife, she's a crier. She cries about everything. You know? She's happy, she cries. There's a fly, she cries. So yes, as I was saying, Friday we had the riff, and then Saturday it was still there, but I was like, man, you know what, babe, you don't have to like punish yourself or condemn yourself. It's okay. And then I remember I left the house to go buy a couple of things. Kantilena, she was leaving, and she went to go buy me something. And then I went and I bought her something. So it was like a beautiful exchange when I got there and there was a note on the fridge to say, I'm sorry, baby, blah, 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 blah. Right, and I saw that. Kanti, I also have something for her.
Yeah.
And then I went upstairs to go give it to her.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I just reassured her that, hey, man, these things happen, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then, we went out, to spend time together later in the evening. Yeah.
You see,
That's dope.
this is what Valentine's is about.
It's really beautiful.
It's about connection. It's about the love. It's about reassurance. It's about being in the moment. Actually, and I don't have to go broke to show them that I love them. So
100%.
I appreciate the love, the love song, the love letter.
Yeah.
You guys are, stand up gentlemen. Going on tour, guys. You guys need to show the other guys what you're actually supposed to do. My Valentine, on the other hand, was working.
It's so rude of us not to even ask, okay? It's so rude of us not to even
That's
ask.
because you guys know that.
No, she was wrapping up. I was going to ask. I was definitely going to ask because I definitely want to know.
No, I didn't do anything special.
Valentine's Day from a single person's point of view.
I went to a Galentine's lunch, actually.
Ooh, that's the thing.
Really, yeah, so for all of us single ladies, because Kaufel are really single.
Clearly.
It's very tricky in Johannesburg right now. But there's a lot of single ladies out there. I don't know why. That's why I'm saying you guys need to give a men's conference or something on how to show the love again.
Yeah.
Because what you guys displayed, shout outs to you. But the Galentine's was really amazing. It was hosted by Anela Zondo. She started this thing called the Soft Power Society, which is really cute. Just about us girls coming together, uplifting each other, showing each other love. And it was all just about words of affirmation for yourself, words of affirmation to each other, how we're all going to uplift each other as women in society as well. And really that's what it was about. Because sometimes I think we're all just kind of like pushing forward and trying to, what's next? We're not sitting back and actually... taking note of what we're going through. So it was really nice to be at a lunch like that because we all kind of had affirmations of like, you're worth it. I know you're going through a lot, but you'll get through to the other side. Like those were the kind of things we were sharing with each other and just kind of uplifting each other and celebrating each other, which was really beautiful. So shout outs to Anela and the Soft Power Society. There will be more throughout the year for the ladies who want to join.
Yeah,
and then later I had a gig. And then, I also went to You, Me and R&B. I specifically went to You, Me and R&B as a choice. I wasn't booked there. Okay. I went there just to go and listen to some Lovers Rock. Ooh, the malls were full of date nights.
Everywhere.
The restaurants were full of date night. Kid couple everywhere.
Yeah.
But it was nice to see that there's so many people in love. Because, when you're a single person, sometimes you think, this thing doesn't exist. People don't care anymore. Everyone's just after money and whatever. But to see so many couples outside on dates was really reassuring. So that was nice. And then listening to R&B for the night was really great.
That's so proper. I wanted to, but it's just that my wife works from home on Mondays. But I wanted to set up like a vision picnic last night, but she was at home, so I couldn't set it up. Because at church, we've been talking about vision, etc. And so I thought it would be so cool to come together and just paint a mental picture of the life that we want. And also in whatever endeavors that we have going on, my business, the podcast, the relationships that I have, and so on and so forth. So I'm hoping that I can pull that today. Fortunately, this comes out Thursday. So she won't see this.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm hoping I can pull that today, tonight. Just a nice, lekker picnic. Yeah.
But I think vision board picnics and those things are really important, whether it comes from a friendship perspective or relationship perspective like you're doing, or even if it's with your business partner. Like I'm having a meeting with my business partner to also kind of have those vision board things on Thursday. And it really just kind of puts everybody on the same page. 1. 2, it also then says, okay, what are our goals? How are we reaching them? At what point do we want to reach them? Because I think if you also don't put timelines on things can just float. And then you don't know. You say you've got a business, but there's no income. There's no money coming in. There's no money coming out. Or even just as yourself, you're also not growing yourself. Because, it's a new year now. It's 2026. Yeah, we went through what we went through last year, but how are you getting better? How are you growing? How are you... And also, I think it's also... a good thing for us to have these vision board events, just to remind yourself that it's never too late to also try something else.
That's true.
Maybe in your heart you've always wanted to kind of pivot and then say, okay, cool, this is who I am. Maybe I'm Miss Cosmo, I'm a DJ. But maybe I also, I want to try myself out in writing. Maybe I'm going to start writing a book or whatever. It's never been something that I've wanted to do. But I think it's things like that kind of then set it in motion to then say, okay, I'm starting today.
Yeah.
Because you give yourself a goal. And you give yourself a timeline.
Yeah.
So I really do implore more people to kind of get into that.
Definitely. I saw you guys lost Kaizer Chiefs last week.
No.
And we won. I just had to.
Were we not moving on? What's on the spotlight? Like, what?
I also thought we're moving on.
So we don't have topics for the day. I feel like we're good now.
What are we doing?
I just had to put it out there.
We were in good spirits until you decided to speak about
it. For life.
Maybe, I don't know.
I think we are following up on what we spoke about last week. Last week we spoke about pilots,
sponsors,
and
we're talking about management.
Valentine.
We're not talking
so
about...
we are following up.
No, the follow-up is Kaizer Chiefs and Black Label. Shout-outs on the collaboration.
Yeah, shout-out to that, actually.
That's what we're going to celebrate because we've got a good South African brand behind the best South African team. And, sometimes you need to kind of, have a little bit of a blow
Yeah.
to show you your weaknesses, and you can work on them.
And then
And
come
the
back.
next game, we'll be back. Don't
Come
worry.
back stronger. I was actually watching that game, and when I stopped watching, that's when they score, which I blame myself for that. But what I wanted to say is, watching that Kaizer Chiefs team play is so much better than the Kaizer Chiefs we've been watching in the previous seasons.
Yeah.
Like they have the fight. Yeah, sure, we still lost, and Pirates fans can still shit on us. But at the end of the day, it's a better team, bro. Like it's a better outfit. Like you look at them and you're like, the commentators also kept emphasizing that by this time, everybody thought we'd be losing Boma 3-4-0 to Zamalek.
Yeah.
But just for me, as a fan, as a supporter, I'm just like, it sucks that we're out. It sucks that we lost. But at the end of the day, we're playing much better football, bro. And that I'll take. It's fine.
Yeah.
A day will come.
No, your day will definitely come.
A day will come.
It will definitely come. I want to set the scene for today's conversation by playing this clip. So check this out.
Isaac was a peaceful person, very respectful. He's honest person. He's so dream.
You told me he dreamed of working on cars. He was studying motor engineering or mobile engineering.
Yeah, he's studying mobile engineering, and he's due to graduate next month. And this happened to him. Isaac loves cars. He's peaceful, he's kind, he's friendly, people love him. He's a champion, he champions his friends all around. Everybody, anywhere he goes, people love him. People like to be around him. Till the day he died, he was with his friends. Till the last minute, he was with his friends. He just went to hustle to become a responsible person.
He's a hard-working young man, as you describe him. As the family, what do you make of the brutal manner of his death, especially when he was just out doing his job?
This is quite unacceptable. It shouldn't happen to anybody. It shouldn't happen to anybody.
As a family now, what assistance do you need in terms of getting him home?
Right now, we need assistance. We need funds to take him back home so that he can be laid to rest in his hometown, where he's from.
And Uncle Otila, as a family, do you think enough is being done to protect e-hailing drivers in the country?
We need more to be done. We need more to be done. This is very heartbreaking for us, and we need more safety for other people who are working honest jobs like Isaac. We were just lost in the
Very touching. Very, very touching. So that's the story of Isaac. I think his surname was Satlat or something like that. 22 years old, e-hailing driver, strangled to death last week. So there's a dash cam video of his death that actually emerged last week. In the video, it shows a woman in the passenger seat searching him while a second suspect, which is a man seated at the back, grabs Isaac by the neck and starts to strangle him while, he tries to free himself, from the grip. At some point, the woman holds his legs down, and this goes on until, he dies. Literally, his body becomes limp. I wanted us to chat about that.
That's crazy, bro. I think I don't even remember when I first heard of the news. I'm not sure, because I think there were two names that were coming up. I think there was a different name that we're using when the reports first came out. I don't know if there are two separate cases, but when I actually went on and did a a bit more research about it, I'm like, sheesh, man. Like, it was really, like, it's disheartening, you know? And for me, I don't know, I don't even think, I'm the person to say it or whatever the case, but I'm just like, I understand the cries of a death penalty being brought back in the table or on the table, because it's disheartening, man. Like, I really don't
Yeah.
have much to say about that. It's like these people knew very well what they were doing. They had an intention, and whatever it is that they discussed prior to the event, it was that thing of, we're doing this, and at whatever cost, and the whatever cost included, even if he dies or whatever the case might be, and they still went ahead and did it. So for me, it's just like,
It's interesting you say that, because I wanted to actually ask you guys if you thought or think if that was premeditated. And
I don't think the death was premeditated.
okay.
When I watched the video, it doesn't seem as though that was the first point of action, because they really tried to attack him and get his belongings from him first. But I think it resulted in that way, like he's saying, at whatever cost. At this point, they weren't winning with trying to search him and get his belongings. They felt like, okay, we need to deal with this guy so that we can get what we want. Unfortunately, it did lead to his death. I don't think it was intended that way. However, the fact that it was even a thought and that was the result of it is already a problem in its own. Whether it was intended when they got in the car or not, the fact that that was the result was already a problem.
Yeah.
Because you can't have that as an option at the back of your head. That can't be an option. Do you know what I mean? Very sad for the family as well, because I mean, he's young. He really was just a young guy trying to make a living, possibly even helping out his family with whatever money that
Yeah.
he's making, paying for his studies, trying to do better for himself, get himself out of whatever circumstances that he's in. And from a safety perspective, it is very scary. I know a lot of the time the conversation always runs on the passengers are never safe. But today, I think it's important for us to also highlight the conversation that the drivers sometimes are also no longer safe because of situations like this, where I've heard of plenty drivers complaining about them worrying about their safety, whether people are trying to smash and grab for their cell phones, whether it's a case of them being attacked by taxi drivers, or whether being attacked by other passengers. There's been instances where I've been out of town, maybe say I've been in like Cape Town or Durban, and I've taken an Uber because I need to get to where I'm going. And they ask me nicely to say, please, can you sit in the front? And for me, it's uncomfortable as a female, because I always want to give the distance between me and another
Right.
male, because I don't know what he's going to be up to. As a passenger, I've obviously got those concerns. But I understand why they say I need to sit in the front, and they'll explain, and I'll say why. And they'll say, no, sometimes for them, it's better if someone's sitting in the front, then you don't look like an Uber driver. Because if you don't look like an e-hailing driver, then you've got less likely opportunity for people to think that you're e-hailing in a specific area where you might get attacked by thugs, or who want to hijack the vehicle because they know it's for work, or taxi drivers who find that you're encroaching on their territory, or maybe just generally speaking, it's just not safe for them from that perspective. All they really want to do is make a living, but they also understand the safety concerns. And unfortunately for e-hailing is that sometimes they don't really know where you're going until they've accepted the ride. They just see there's a rider who's asking to go somewhere. That's why sometimes they ask you afterwards where you're going, because they only see it after they've accepted, you know what I mean? So sometimes they'll accept and then they say, you're going to Kailicha. And they're like, it's difficult for me to go in that area or whatever. And I've had that before. I'm not going to lie. And I'm going to say it, because maybe sometimes I'm staying in town and then I need to go and play a gig in Kaili, and I'll take a Uber to Kailicha. Sometimes they'll say, yes, I can drop you. Sometimes they'll be a little bit up and down about it. Maybe even in some other areas, not necessarily just that township, you know? So I understand the drivers also have their own safety concerns. And I think we really need to this situation has kind of raised the flag on that, that we need to kind of pay attention to the fact that there's also driver safety issues. There's also been other instances where drivers are complaining about women who put on sexual advances on drivers because they don't want to pay for the ride. And it's funny, I get it, but in some instances it's still sexual assault at the end of the day. And if the driver doesn't want that, what if he's a married man who is who doesn't want that kind of a thing. He really just wants to drive you and take you home. There you are now trying to jump into his pants purely because you don't want to pay 100 Rand Uber. Why are you getting the Uber if you can't pay for it? Do you know what I mean?
extreme.
But those things are happening, and those are the safety issues that Uber drivers are dealing with.
But what's going on, guys? What spirit is upon people?
Yeah, no.
It's for you to just kill somebody like that.
Like, bruh.
Also, like, dog, stop.
Like, yeah, dog. Like,
Sech, if I see you, like, say we planned a heist, right? And it's like, okay, this person is not letting go. Surely, at some point, I need to tell you, dog, stop. Like,
Yeah.
it's not worth it.
You know-
or you're about to kill this person.
yeah. You know, bruh, I don't know if you guys have been mugged or, like, experienced that, you know. Yeah. I've had my own fair share, Lynn, in terms of I was in the CBD and these guys came and, like, about 5 of them, like, coming from all different directions and whatever the case, I had my bag. And in my bag, I had, like, everything. But I fought for the bag, like, because I knew if I let go of that bag, I don't have money, I don't have my keys, I don't have my phone. I don't know about fought for it. It wasn't that long. It was about 20 seconds, which felt like 20 hours.
Forever,
yeah. But they let go. Wabo. And then Bambalia, because someone shouted, "Hey, where's Allah?" And then they ran. Wabo. Which for me is what I'm trying to say with this case, to say, by all means necessary, we are gonna do whatever we need to do. Because my thing is, this person has died or collapsed or whatever the case might be. You still have the nerve to come into the passenger seat and you're still carrying on basically with this whole thing. And it's like, that's evil.
It is.
Like, what is operating in you at this point for you to still be to carry out this thing? It failed. Like, this person didn't give in or whatever the case. It went on for too long, and they're still trying to do whatever it is that they're trying to do.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's not the first time this lady's been implicated in a burglary or robbery. With regards to, I don't know, like petty theft and stuff like that. She's been arrested for it before. And then she was let out, obviously, because petty crime. And you know, in South Africa, everybody can just go because it's not a real thing. Just because you're stealing cell phones, they'll let you go. Hey, look now. They let her go because apparently she was arrested. I think she was let go maybe about a month ago or something like that. Back on the streets, and now somebody has had to pay with their life because of
You're raising an important thing there, right? Because the same is applicable when it comes to GBV and sexual assault, etc., where you'll find victims begging, police officers, please do not let this person go. And it's like, man, what? And then the person comes out, and then they finish the job. So you'll find that it started as sexual assault, right? And then Evan Toyare, plus one Tlale, you're reporting me, who the hell do you think you are? The person then comes out of jail, prison, whatever, and then they go kill this person. And it's like, but we told you. The victim pleaded with you, do not release this person. And in addition to that, it's very disheartening, like you said, Sech, from like a prison point of view, because these people, batwawa, and they go to prison, and life is soft there.
No, that's why I give him death penalty.
You guys are speaking like you've been in jail.
I have. I have.
No, there's a difference between prison and jail.
No, I'm just saying, like, in terms of experience, in terms of the overall, overarching experience in a prison, understand? Like, just understanding what do you call it, man? I don't know how to put it.
The psychology.
Yeah. And, like, how the dynamics are set up there.
Right.
You actually do get prisoners who say it's better to be there than it is, like, what life it is for them in the outside world.
Oh, because on the outside they need to hustle and they can go do that.
Yeah.
But they've got set meals, they've got
But
They can go get a degree there.
Yeah.
They can.
And it's like,
Nothing to get it. I don't know why you guys are miserly. I get a death penalty.
And you've said it 4 times now.
I'm trying to emphasize that, yo, bro, for me personally, I just say, I don't know if that's why I don't know if I'm the person to say it, if it's right or constitutional to even say something like that publicly or whatever the case. But I saw a couple of comments from different people in other parts of Africa who kept on saying, bring this person to our nation, we want to see something. You know? And I think our prisons are filled with people who commit murder, bruh, to such an extent that it's almost as if it's not the worst thing you could do.
Yes.
You know, and it's like these people are not scared, man. Like,
Very nonchalant.
how are you not scared or not afraid of taking someone else's life? You know, like, how is that something that doesn't consume you to a point where you're just like, I can't decide. Yeah, maybe you can decide for you. This one, by the time he crosses the road, he won't own his phone anymore.
I mean,
then,
like,
I guess that you can make the decision for, but for you to take my life is wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For you to take my life is wild, and for you, and then we are prison, and then
and the thing is, it's also like the fact that people are so okay with doing it, like you're mentioning, like sometimes, I mean, I remember there was a time where I think it was during COVID, if I'm not mistaken. There was a lady who was driving close to Alex, if I'm not mistaken, I think Lombardi or whatever, early morning. She was on her way to work. And I recognized that road because I've driven on it before. And generally speaking, during the day, it's pity, like my taxi, it's pedestrians, whatever. So you can tell it's very early in the morning. It was maybe 5, 6 in the morning. Because the roads were still empty at that point. She got hijacked in the morning. Just for her car, taken out of the car. Shot. I don't know who had taken the video at that point, but we had seen the video recording. Basically gotten shot right there. And all she did was be a diligent driver. She stopped at the robot. There were no other cars. She stopped at the robot. At that point of her waiting at the robot, they shot her, they took her car. And it wasn't even like an expensive car. So sometimes it's also like, it's frustrating where you sit there and you're just like, you're killing somebody for like a day-to-day car.
Yeah.
It's not even like you're shooting them for like a Range
100%.
Rover or whatever they
Yeah.
Now somebody has lost their life. Somebody who's a 9 to 5, who's woken up specifically early in the morning
she
to
died.
get to work. Yes.
Yeah.
Can you imagine waking up, preparing yourself because you're going to go and fend for your family? You're getting up at the crack of dawn where you've probably left your family still sleeping at home because you need to get to work at a certain time. And now for you to die on your way to work. It's so painful that this is the South Africa we're living in. And the fact that the justice system is also not doing its job. How are we still dealing with Senzo Mayiwa's case in 2026? That thing irritates me so much because I'm like, I turn on the news and it's still like Senzo, and I'm like, guys, Senzo, even his dad passed away and we haven't dealt with this case.
Yeah.
Which means all the other cases we're dealing with, aka DJ Waras, all the other people that we've lost to these types of crimes. Even the guy on the clip, we're never going to get any justice because these things just get swept under the carpet. Why are we not seeing any justice stories? There's nothing that's coming out on the news that's saying we found the killer. This is the ruling. This thing was wrapped up in 3 months. Finish. He's locked up. He's gone. Why do things have to drag for so long?
Because you have pulling powers at the back.
Putting thugs back on the streets. This is the constitution we're fighting for. This is the justice system that we're fighting for. This is the government we're fighting for.
That's why Datim Kwanazi put his life on the line.
bro.
Because he understands, okay, we are not going to deal with this or combat this being passive. So people have to put their lives on the line.
Yes.
But I mean, who's willing to do that? You don't have a lot of Kwanazis. We don't.
Death penalty.
Death penalty.
I just want to read this thing. It says South Africa's murder rate is 959% higher than the average G20 country. And then I want to further read. It says South Africa currently has one of the highest murder rates in the world, with over 27,000 murders recorded annually as of 2023. A rate 959% higher than the average G20 country. So this is in line with people advocating for stricter and stronger consequences, often including calls for reinstatement of the death penalty. And then, there's like an argument on all of that. And for me, it's really just that, man. Like, you look at, we don't even have to look far.
You say it's the highest.
Yeah.
So we are higher than Venezuela. And then we are
I don't know as of 2026 if we were to get the stats, but what I do know is we don't even have to look further than our neighboring countries like Botswana. You know, I've saw a lot of Botswana people actually commenting on this instance here, Isaac, talking about
the death penalty.
yeah, like just saying just bring those people to Botswana who want to see something. Even like angry people in South Africa, or just saying don't arrest them. Bring them back to the Mpagati.
Justice.
Bring them to Mpagati. Because my thing is, prisons can't be full with people that offend in this manner, bruh.
Exactly.
You know? Because we don't even have enough space now. I'm sure there's not enough space for 27,000 murders. You know what I'm saying? And these are the ones that are reported. You know? And it's like, we often, I think another thing this thing has raised is that when the news first broke, they were actually saying it could be like a Foreigners Act or whatever the case might be. And now it came out for doing their own thing. And it's like, it's our own people doing these heinous crimes. And it's like, but what are we doing about it? You know, what are we doing about it? Because we can't keep on having these things happen, like where people just know, okay, the worst thing they're gonna do to me is solitary confinement or put me in a place where I'm actually better off than when I'm in the streets, because they're probably gonna be saying they were hustling for themselves or whatever the case might be. I don't know the details of the thing. It was just too brutal for me. Mar, death penalty.
And apparently the highest rates of murder in South Africa come from Durban, Pietermaritzburg, Cape Town, East London, Nelson Mandela Bay.
Yeah, it's interesting. Joburg is not.
Josie's not even there.
It's not to say that those are the top 5.
Oh,
yeah.
It's not to say that Johannesburg doesn't feature. It's just one of the top 5. But those are the top 5 cities in South Africa, which means Joburg must be sitting at maybe about 6, 7, 8, somewhere there. Because we definitely have our fair share of crime happening in the city. But when it comes to murder specifically, the numbers are much higher in these cities.
That's wild.
That's crazy.
Dude, you talk about mob justice. Are you not starting another problem?
I'll deal with it later, bro. Like, I'll do personally. That's what I'm saying. I don't know if maybe I am coming from an emotional place or whatever the case. I don't know. There's this documentary on Netflix by Ava DuVernay, The 13th Amendment, where she's documenting how the prison system in America was developed. And these prisons were supposed to be, what do you call the reformation systems? But they are not. They are basically just holding these people and further aggravating whatever issues that they have, whether it's anger, whether it's lack or frustration or all of those things. They go to prison, they get more frustrated. So they basically create more monsters out of what they were before they even went into prison. There's no reformation taking place in the prisons, you know? And it's like, and then at some point these people come back to society with those type of hearts, and we expect them to act better. You understand? And that's where I'm coming from, to say, it doesn't look, for me, it's not a time to be like, yo, bro, hey, let's pray it away, or whatever the case might be.
Yeah, that's religion. We shouldn't do that.
That's why I'm saying, well, maybe I'm coming from maybe I'm too angry or my emotions are too high.
I don't think Chechaba's wrong in saying mob justice, because we come to a point where we as the society are fed up. We entrusted the government, we've entrusted the police, we've entrusted our judicial system to do the right thing. They're not doing that. How are we still talking about sense of me in 2026?
Yeah.
It's been over 10 years now.
But then how are you guys different from the people who killed Isaac?
That's not the point.
How are you guys different?
So I was still doubling down on that. So if our systems were doing what they were supposed to do, society wouldn't feel a need to get involved. Who are we supposed to trust? Because these are families who are losing people like Isaac, people who are losing people like Senzo Mayiwa, aka DJ Waras. Those people were actually pillars in their community. They were doing things for their families. They were doing things for their society. How are you allowing those people to die and their voices go unjustified? Do you know what I mean? And us as the people who are losing them, we're obviously going to sit back with the pain, with the anger, with the frustration to say justice has not been served.
Right.
If you are not going to do it, somebody has to do it. And if it means that we need to do the detective thing and find the perpetrators and then deal with them on our own, then that's what needs to be done. But that won't necessarily have to happen if government does their job, if the police do their job, if the judicial system does their job. Where is the constitution that they keep waving in our faces? They keep saying, everyone's got a constitutional right. Constitutional goopy. This is a dictatorship. You guys are not helping us.
Yeah.
You're telling us how we need to live in your world. Because it's according to their decisions. Tina, we are just receiving information. We're receiving dictation.
It's a monologue. Yeah.
Because at what point have we decided what is happening? You're not including us when you guys are making these deals in boardrooms with your Woolworths bags, and you're not telling us how these people are, no, we're going to deal with this one like this. We're the ones who are suffering. We've lost these people, not you. To you, it's a business deal. To us, it's a life lost. It's a person that we cared about. How are we benefiting for your backroom deals? That's not fair. And that's why I'm saying at the end of the day, at some point, I know they say it's democracy. I don't know what we are voting for. We're voting for angry people to get richer in their positions.
Yeah.
But the rest of us are living in poverty.
Yeah.
We're living in anger. Because that's also some of the things that lead to these things. People who are going to get into thievery, getting into hijacking, getting into murder, they're in those positions because of poverty. And I'm not saying it's okay. I'm saying it's a catalyst to how they got to that position. It's easier for them to steal somebody's car and steal somebody's and steal somebody's cell phone as opposed to sitting on the streets and not making money. They don't have jobs. If they had jobs and the government was providing those jobs and not increasing the employment rate, we would have less crime.
Definitely.
Who's not doing their job?
Totally.
So we are going to result in mob justice because government is not doing their
I
job.
totally agree with you. I think the points that you make are so valid. I just don't see how mob justice helps the situation.
You're saying two wrongs don't make a right? That's what you're saying?
100%.
Okay.
But also, it's a thing, Yauri. What if somebody's wrongly accused?
Okay.
You know what I mean?
But
And
the same could happen even in court. Could be wrongly accused and
Wait.
they spend 10 years in jail. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
I hear that
You asked the question, how are we different from...
from Isaac, from the guys who killed Isaac.
Yes, so that's what I wanted to understand. What do you mean, how are we different?
If we're killing people, if we just go about killing people, like mob justice, you're saying, you know what, I'm taking matters into my own hands.
Okay, for me, let me break it down to you. Like, when it comes to mob justice, I'm not talking about let's go lynch the people.
No, also mob justice doesn't do that. They just
They was.
better, and then you go in here.
Yeah, but-
Okay, maybe then we need to define what mob justice is.
For me, mob justice, when I say death penalty and mob justice, those are two different things.
Okay.
When I'm talking about mob justice, you look at mob justice is basically the mob enforcing the fact that the law has to take place here.
Okay.
This person has done wrong in society.
So they are aiding.
Yes. That's what I'm
But
saying.
they're not
I'm
killing
I'm not talking about
Okay,
I'm not talking about
That's
lynching.
how I understand
Oh
it.
No.
That's not mob justice.
Nagu
In my-
mob justice is like
I'm not talking about let's put a tire and burn him. or
Yes, that's what
whatever.
I'm thinking.
No.
No, if you guys put it that way, then I
Okay.
definitely understand.
Yeah. So for me, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah, because we're Scotty. That's what we do. You know, if you're gonna come here doing your own thing, very quick, bro, and you see the change.
Yeah.
In the person, they become reformed.
I hear you.
Because they learn their lesson. You know, what they'll do, marinate nice and whatever the case might be. And then sometimes the people who overdo it will probably get into trouble or whatever the case might be. But at the end of the day, I agree. What she's saying is, for me, it's the pinnacle of the frustration that we have to say, Hore. Because one of the things that this guy says, I didn't watch the whole thing, but the ambiguity of how it could have been anyone. You understand? Like, do you understand the pool of possibility that opens? It could have been someone in your circle. It could have been someone that
Could
you
have
knew.
been me.
Could have been you self. Or understand? To say, Hore, at what length would you stop if it was someone that you knew?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, at what cost would you be like, nah, it's fine. Just or whatever the case might be, you know?
Yeah.
So for me, it's really just like, if we're the people that get to see this as news, you know, versus the family that's actually affected by this, we can come from two different perspectives, and I respect both. But I'm just saying, like, if we were actually boiling enough, we would definitely take matters into our own hands.
And you're right. When Sech said earlier, Guti, sometimes for murderers, they feel like it's not the worst thing that they could do. It's the same as, it's that same rhetoric of when you're a kid and you get into trouble, ne? And you do something really stupid, and maybe you break a glass or something. You get shouted at by your mom, hey, maybe they spank you. You survive it. And then you think, it's not that bad. Do it again. You do something even worse. Get into trouble. All she's going to do is shout at me. Let me just break everything in the kitchen. So for them, because the punishment is not harsh enough, they feel, I can keep killing. I'll just come live here, Kosan City. 2 years, 5 years, because it's crowded. I'll live on good behavior, and then I'll be out again, back in the game. I can kill some more. The punishment is not strict enough, which is where Sech is coming from with regards to the death penalty. Because if you go to other countries, I know there's a lot of Asian countries that are very stringent on, like, I don't know, cutting fingers and death penalties and things like that. You will be scared, because imagine you commit a crime and you sit there and say, I'm going to lose my pinky finger. I'm not doing this thing.
Think twice.
I'm going to lose my entire hand. I'm not doing this thing. I'm going to die because I've killed somebody else. You're going to think twice, because the punishment is so severe that you yourself are afraid of it. But if the punishment is just to go and sit in a sunny jail where you get 3 meals a day and you just have to make friends with the right gang, and then you'll be out for good behavior in 2 years.
Yeah. Look, I think it's a thing of revisiting the laws. In politics, you talk about trias politica, right? You have the three spheres of government, the legislature, the executive, and the judiciary. And trias politica is basically saying separation of powers. We do our job, you do your job, you do your job, and we can't interfere with one another. I think what government should do is stick to that, but there should be exceptions. Because you don't want to interfere with the spheres. I do get that, because then you'll see corruption just really skyrocket. But I think the exceptions part is very, very important, whereby if you get something like this with Isaac, etc., it's like, okay, we are making an exception in this regard, and maybe, to your point, we can introduce like a death penalty, or it can be a thing, Yauri, these people, we are taking them to Nigeria, right? The people who killed Isaac, we are taking them to Nigeria, and then the Nigerian government can then decide. So I think exceptions would help. That's how I see it.
I think we need to have stricter bylaws in our own country, because everybody's got a constitutional right to do as they please. That's why everybody gets away with all this bullshit. We will continue dealing with GBV, with crime, with unemployment, with murder, hijacking. It's gotten to a point, I remember once having this conversation, and it's so vivid in my mind, because it's something that I thought was a reality until you realize things change. A cousin of mine was in jail years ago, maybe say in the 90s or whatever.
Yeah.
And he got arrested for theft. He got caught, him and his friends were trying to steal something. It wasn't his luckiest day. He got caught up. He had to go to jail for a couple of years, right? So he was in the system for that. Came out, obviously, understanding how the system works. Unfortunately, it was also a poverty-stricken situation. Anyway, fine. He comes out and he says to me, and I think it was at the point when I just got my first car. He specifically said these words to me. He's like, no, don't worry, Wena. You need to just put a sticker on your car, like a Kaizer Chiefs or something on your car, so that people know, so that the thugs know that you're a black woman. They're not going to touch your car, because we don't affect each other as abantu abamnyama. Because at the end of the day, at the time, like I said, it was in the 90s, they were trying to only attack white people because they felt white people were the reason for their poverty, right? Fast forward to 2026, that thing ain't a real thing anymore. They don't care who you are, what your mama is, because for them, they're just like, I'm suffering. Here you are as this black bougie girl living in luxury. You're living in the burbs. You're driving an affluent car. Why do you have that life and I don't have this life? They don't care about that anymore. Things have really, like, the psychology has really changed because the times have changed. The employment rate has decreased. The poverty has increased. And for them, they're just like, we used to protect our black brothers and sisters, but now we don't care anymore. Anybody can get it. And that, for me, is really scary.
Yeah.
Because we're all turning on each other and it's getting to a point where we don't even know how to even remedy the situation.
Yeah. Guys, before we get into the spotlight, I think on a lighter note, goodness, have you ever been scammed?
All the time.
All the time.
All the time, me?
Not all the time, but a couple of times, yeah. Sometimes you panic and then, yeah, anyway.
Sech?
It's happened.
I probably, when I first moved to Joburg, I have a Johnny Comes to Joburg story that ended very, not
Sad.
yeah. I got scammed, basically.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've once got scammed.
That's so interesting. There's a teacher. This teacher got scammed 1.2 million rand. Yes, it's like these ancestral investment schemes. So think about it this way: there's a Kobela, right? If you're white or English speaking, and you're watching this, a Kobela. What's a Kobela, guys?
Kobelo is a spiritual healer, but like a teacher, essentially. So it'll be your guider or your...
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Gobela convinced this person to actually resign from her job, right, and invest her pension payout. He allegedly promised her extraordinary financial returns. And then, acting on this advice, the victim transferred substantial sums of money to the accused, who then misappropriated the funds and then Ajafati. Fortunately, the guy was arrested. This was about last week or the week before. As he was entering South Africa, I think he went abroad. So as he was entering South Africa at the airport, actually, he was arrested.
Good.
And
Didn't see that coming, did you?
I was thinking about this earlier on, and I thought to myself, I actually don't feel sorry for this woman.
Who, the Kobela?
No, the one who got scammed.
Why?
I'm on the fence.
Okay.
I'll tell you why, but continue. Finish off.
Dude, this is 1.2. Sech. 1.2 million. Surely.
No, but it was overtime. It wasn't
It doesn't
immediate.
matter. It doesn't matter. Surely, dog, when the first 5K, like it's gone, once that is gone and you don't see any returns, like you should start having like serious or rather honest conversations with yourself to say, hey, you know what? This is a scam.
Yeah, but you see, when you asked me asked us, sorry, have we been scammed?
Yeah.
I responded by saying I've been scammed once. It wasn't a recurring scam.
Yes.
There are people. There are people who.
And you make my point.
No. Yes, that's why I'm coming back. I was gonna say there are people who fall victim to recurring scams, and because most likely there would be returns, because we don't know that. We don't know if she's had returns before. It's not like she gave 500,000 or 5,000, 2,000, and there were no returns. You'd find there were returns at some point, because that's what recurring scammers do. Yes. They will gain your trust by doing so, until they get a lump sum, of which then it's chai for you, and then only then you realize, oh shucks, this is actually a scam. You know? Like I know people who've been scammed like Boma 2K or like ba 500, but already 1.2 and you start believing, actually this thing works, you know, until it's a very large sum and you don't get anything. And that's how these foreigners and
1.2, guys.
Okay, so the reason I say I'm on the fence, if you are spiritually inclined, which I am, you understand how these processes work, especially when you're dealing with spiritual healers, right? And it's completely different from a psychological perspective. Please also bear in mind, I say psychological aspect,
Yes,
as opposed to intellectually, right? So Thabang, please let me speak.
Let her cook.
And I'm saying this because I've seen it happen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So, I am spiritually inclined, right? There is people that I see that I consult with because that's just one of those things that I do and how I've been raised and gifts that I need to kind of adhere to, whatever the case may be. Anyway, so my experience in this is that I've seen it with other people where they'll go and consult and then this consultant will say, yeah, you've got a lot of luck, but you're right now you're down and out because I'm 17, 1, 2, 3, this person's attacking you, this is falling apart, 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, D. The process works in the sense that when you go and consult with these people, you need to melu khanyisele. Ukhanyisa basically is like a consultation fee. The same way you would pay a consultation fee to a doctor, or you pay a lawyer, or you pay an accountant. You're going for their time, for their expertise, because that's what they need to give you what their visions are, what they see. Now, at some point they'll say to you, okay, for this specific thing, you need to pay me 3,000. For this specific thing, you need to pay me 500 rand. For this specific thing, remedy, you need to pay me 1.2. And for this specific thing, it's a big one. Now you want a big thing. Because also people come with their desperation. Now back to the psychology of it. Human beings inherently want more for themselves. Human beings inherently believe that they deserve more. So in their deserving more, they will do whatever it takes to kind of get in those positions. So if somebody taps into their spirituality, say, okay, you believe in these things, so you're more likely to then take out money for 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, D. Over time, you're going to find yourself sending 5,000, 3,000, 2,000. Because, like Sech is saying, you do see returns. Maybe you get a job, or maybe you buy a house, or maybe, and you're like, hey, I wouldn't have been able to get these things if it wasn't for my consultation at that point in time. And then when you calculate over time, and then you realize, okay, it worked that time when I sent the 10,000. Maybe if I send 100,000, it would be more. And then you find yourself, and then you calculate over time, you're like, oh, I've sent 1.2 to this person. I'm not saying it's okay. That's why I said I'm on the fence. Because it shouldn't cost that amount of money. But it's not to say that at some point it doesn't necessarily help spiritually, because you do have to at some point pay a consultation fee the same way you would a doctor. Sometimes people go to doctors and they go in and out of doctors' rooms and they still don't get the right diagnosis, and then things go wrong with their health. To say everybody's playing guessing games. Unfortunately, that's just the life that we're living. Abantu passing at 30% and they become doctors. Same thing is happening spiritually.
With the gobelas.
It's the same thing is happening with the gobelas. I'm not okay with it. And it sucks for me because, like I said, I am spiritually inclined. But it also sucks as a reality to think that these things are happening. So it will happen to people when they want more for themselves.
So let me paint this picture. You have somebody, black woman, struggling in life, right? Is deep in debt. And then you were speaking about spiritual inclination and all of that. Then this person feels the same, and they feel that they need to go consult a gobela. They consult with this gobela, and this gobela says, okay, we need to initiate you. However, for you to go through the entire process, you have to pay 100,000 rand.
That's generally how much they charge.
Yes.
That's a general thing. It's not a... it's not
so what are you saying?
No, I'm getting there.
Oh, okay. I thought you full stop.
No, it's not a full stop. I guess you were saying something.
Okay.
You got to pay me 100,000 rand. And this person, why and pays 100,000 rand. I have an issue with that.
100K school fees. I could have paid 150 to Gibbs. Lena upatala 100K.
I got 150 go Gibbs. I paid way more than that.
I'm just saying.
But
I'm just saying, Uti, that's the same thinking. Because when you go to Twasa, you're going to spiritual school. It's the same thing.
But here's my thing, right? My thing is, these people remain in the same place for the rest of their life.
Not all of them.
Well, a majority of them.
Because they go to scam and
all of that. And nothing happens in their life. But my thing is, why would you not take that money and pay off your debt? Why would you not take that money and rectify whatever's happening in your life.
Because people are not going through the same thing you're going through. Your priority in life is to get your master's, for you to build your family, to get married and to buy a house and to build a business. Their priority is that they're sitting back and they're thinking, everything in my life is falling apart. Maybe I need to answer this calling or this gift, and maybe my things will wake up and they'll get better, and then I'll make that money back on the other side. And their callings and beliefs are not necessarily coming from wishy-washy consultation. Maybe they're also being affected in their dreams, in their life, and they're seeing things that don't make sense to them. And for them, their belief system at that point in time is to fix it. Your way of fixing your life is by doing what you've done. You've taken yourself, you're growing yourself, you're building a business, you're getting married, you're doing all these things to better yourself, you're paying off your debts. That's your choice.
Here's the thing.
Their lives are being affected completely differently.
I talk about this because I'm too close to this. And without revealing too much, maybe off camera.
I'm also close to it, and that's why I'm being the way I am.
This case in particular?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I'm too close to this. And that's why I'm just like, nah.
1.2
I'm way too close to this.
Okay.
Yes, I'm too close to this. I don't get it.
You know? Yeah.
I don't get it.
That's the problem. That's point
but
number
also, I don't get it based on evidence. That's why. If you were saying the returns are there and so on and so forth, right, and the evidence is there, then sure, maybe we can have a different conversation.
Yeah.
But I'm saying evidence, it's not there. So now you are literally just digging yourself in this grave and this grave and this grave or this ditch. And you're going to do that for the rest of your life.
Let me try and like put it this way. Death penalty. So a scam a scam is let me just read this definition of a scam.
Continue, I apologize.
Yeah. It says by definition, a scam is a dishonest scheme to gain money or possessions from someone fraudulently, especially a complex or prolonged one, right? And I'm just going to use an example that maybe relates to me more than the 1.2 meter. In the context of the church, right? There are people who've also claimed to have been ordained priests, pastors, and all of these things, miracle workers, or whatever you want to call it. And people have attended their institutions for years, and their lives has still not changed. They still remain in the same place, you know? And it's the dishonesty that they chose to believe that led them to still be where they are. Psychologically, at the end of the day, what we know as people, or one thing that I also learned earlier in my in my walk with God is that what may be a revelation to you doesn't mean it's a gospel to the next person. You know, what you know today, just remember that there was a time when you also didn't know it. You know, so for people who get scammed, there is a system in which at some point there was truth to it and they believed and they adhered to it. But for it to end up being a scam, because one-off scamming is one thing. If now someone says, yo, bro, I'm going to sell you equipment and this and that, I'm going to give you everything that you need for 50K. You send that 50K and there is no equipment. That's something. But if you find someone who's going to scam you recurringly and be like, yo, bro, if you give me 5K, I'm going to be able to source some speakers and a camera for you. And that camera comes. And then they say, hey, bro, I'm going to be able to get you mics and whatnot for 2K. You give them the 2K. And they're like, yo, bro, this time I'm going to be able to get you Pro Tools and whatnot. Give me 120. You give them the 120 and they slicer. You see what I'm saying? That's how usually when scams are a recurring thing happens. It doesn't happen once off.
Sech, I definitely understand that.
Please unpack your anger because
No. I'm not going to unpack that because then I put people on the spot and I'm not going to do that. I think even when you're angry, still protect people, and that's exactly what I'm going to do.
No, that's fine. I'm not saying.
But what I'm saying is,
I'm not saying you need to put the story on blast. I'm saying unpack your thought process as to why you think it's wrong so that we can get a general understanding. I don't want you to say the specific story that's close to you. What
I'm saying is it's 1.2 million. I don't get it. And that's why I say I don't feel sorry for you. I understand the psychology that comes with, Ojafats and coming back and how that will make you feel as the person being scammed or the victim, right? To say, okay, no, this person, they yes, there was a gap. There's a time when they disappeared. But the fact that they're coming back, it means that I can actually anchor myself in them and trust them, etc. And that they'll deliver whatever it is that they said they will deliver. But this is a big amount. And remember, this is the anchor. This is the context of the conversation. It's 1.2 million.
Yeah.
If you say 10,000, 20,000, I get it. 1.2 million for you to even go and cash out your pension.
It's over time, though.
It doesn't matter, Noni. This person went and resigned. Understand that they resigned.
Oh, they left their job. I thought it was at
Yes.
60 years old. They said,
Noni, imagine somebody came to me, Sech, right now and said, dude, apparently you must stop coming here. You must let go of this business. You know, whatever savings you have, whatever money that you've made over time, you need to send it to me. And the moment you do that, there's going to be so much increase in your life. I'm just like, nigga. Like,
But what's gonna make you not agree to that?
for me, it's like it's too good to be true.
Yeah, but that person, their belief has been suspended to believe in that moment to say, "Itlomspanela."
Yes.
That's
so
what I'm
so
saying.
so that I get. Hear me. I get that. But I'm saying we're talking about such a huge amount. And that's why I'm saying if we had gotten to like 50,000, 100,000, like I get it, sharp. You know what I mean? Like I get, but guys, it's 1.2 million. And again,
Look.
I guess my anger, it comes from the fact that, like I said earlier, and I'm too close to this.
Yeah.
So there are people in my life
That are affected.
in this context.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, guys, come on. And like I alluded earlier on, it's like we don't see that glory to glory. We don't see like that increase. Nothing is happening. You're still suffering, you're still where you were, and so on and so forth. And you're still like trying to convince me and convince yourself that no, like something's gonna happen. But it's like, hey, you've been doing this and you are still where you were. So what's going on?
And that's the success
And
of
this
the
is
scam.
big. It's like, dude, like to quit your flipping job. And I guess more than anything, I'm upset at the person who's scamming these people. I think that my anger is actually directed to.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what?
Because that's where the success of the scam comes in, you know? Because at the end, it wouldn't be a scam if Asakhono told 1.2 million is a house.
That's it.
You know? No, but that's what scammers do. You know, like, I don't know if you guys follow.
Yeah.
I've actually wanted to document the thingy. I still want to do it. It's called Scammed. And I want to document people's stories where they talk about scamming because it's more psychological than we can think to ourselves. In my own experience of being scammed, in that moment, you believe it with everything in you that this is what's going to work for me, you know, or this is what's going to... If Muto and Ansan had the 2,000 and the 50K, they probably at the point where they're like, maybe that's why it hasn't worked for me because I've just been taking out 50K and now I need to take it to 100, whatever the amount might be, you know, that their psychology has been so washed down to a point where the only thing that makes sense in this whole equation is for me to actually max out myself to hore ke bone di results because right now I haven't seen anything in Kantswela Molemo.
Okay, so when we started this chat, I said I was on the fence, right? And I can understand with how the scam happens and how people can get to a point of accepting it, like Sech has been explaining, because you're trying to max out your opportunities. Like I said, humans inherently will always want more, right? We always want better for ourselves. However, the other side of the fence, I do agree with Thabang in the sense that there has to be a point where it's too much. There has to be a limit to your discernment where you sit back and you say, okay, cool. This makes sense. I can send 10,000. This makes sense. For this thing, I can send 20,000. To the point where you are leaving your job and sending 500K. Where's your discernment in that conversation?
It's non-existent.
No.
Hey, yo.
Where's your discernment
we
in
all
that
have
conversation?
it's proven that we all have agency, bro.
Guys,
we all have
Wait,
agency.
I'll tell you now, bruh. And that's why I made the church example. you go to other people who go to different institutions or denominations, and you'll be shocked
Yes.
at the teachings that other people get.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And that's why discernment is something that's taught. You know, like I can teach you to discern. To a certain extent, and then it becomes something that's caught, right? Somewhere, somehow, the teaching becomes like the catching. We understand? And there's some people, especially the ones that fall victim to scams, is because their discernment has been suppressed to a
Yes.
point where it's non-existent. Hona le batho ba bang, o ka makala.
Wait, explain suppressed. What do you mean by suppressed?
Like that's why for you, if someone comes to you with that offer, what is it in you that's gonna be able to discern? And that thing that's been so fed in your life to know that my discernment is high, my God is up, and all of those things. It's your spirituality. It's those things that
Also
you
your experiences as well.
your
have
experience,
taught
the things that you
to see the red
feed
light.
yourself to actually have that boldness to say, "Nah, this is trash. This is too good to be true." That same thing in someone else, it's suspended for them to believe that. You get what I'm saying?
Especially
hear you.
because of the situation.
There's a lady who I once, when I was starting to work, she went to a different church than I was still like probably 21, but we're having a conversation and we were packing gear, and I'm telling her my dreams, low key, like I can't wait to get to a place in my life where I'm just I'm not even packing gear, I'm doing 1, 2, 3, 4, and she's like, what do you even mean, and I'm telling her, like, we're having a conversation, and she said something to this day still shocks me, and she says, "Oh, so you actually aspire to do better in your life?" And I'm like, "Yeah, don't you?" She's like, "No, at church we are taught that where we are is where God wants us to be. And what we have right now, we are enough. So you shouldn't strive for anything beyond what you have." This girl was probably like 2 years older than me. She had like 6 kids. She lived like a very, very, very poor life. She led a very poor life. And you could tell. It was quite evident because sometimes you could tell for maybe nkare le diphahlo ha gona, like ha di hlatswa ka bosepa or whatever the case might be. But it was her belief system in that point in time to say that where she is where she's supposed to be. Whereas I come with my own aspirations and dreams, and that's what keeps me every day. What actually made me ask her that was because she wanted another kid. And I'm like, yeah. Whoa. You already look like Dilo Dita from V2, and like you don't even know about it's personal, yeah, man. But you can tell that this person, based on whatever that she is, I don't know if indoctrinated is the word, but what built her belief system is what informs her decisions. We understand. So she'd be susceptible to anything. Like if and like she was always at church, bro. Like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Like Ufanalika, the bit that she was getting from work, like the bit that she was the receptionist, she was giving everything to a point where she couldn't even elevate her life in one way, shape or another. Ona believe and try and I believe. Understand? So for me, it's really that to say, Hore. And that's where the desire for me to want to document other people who have been scammed. Because this for me is not the worst thing I've had. If I'm being honest with you, this is it's a case on its own, and it's one of those things you look at the scam and you're like, yo, bruh, how could you? Or like, it's not nice to hear that people fall victim to those things. But at the end of the day, that's what makes it a scam. Because if nobody believed in it, it's not a scam. You get what I'm saying? It's something that everybody else can discern from the get-go.
And it's also because they get away with it. And because they can get away with it, they'll do it again, and they'll do it again, and they'll do it again, until at some point where now they get caught. Now they're at the airport.
You know that
and
scam
they get
samajita CBD bare guy phone, like, okay, I have this thing for you, what. You go there, like they send you to go get something and they're like, but how do I know you're gonna come back? So give me your phone. You know that scam, right? Do you think someone could scam you over that?
So here's the thing. I think you and I are having the same conversation, but somewhere, somehow it drifts. So I get the scam.
Yeah.
I get the psychology. but not 1.2 million.
But then you don't get it.
No, I do get it. I'm saying once it gets to 50, like I get 50,
That's your
I get 100.
threshold.
I get that.
Yeah.
But this is 1.2 million. So you have to convince me.
Yes.
You really, really like have to like speak to my mind for me to understand this. I can never understand it.
Yeah.
Yes. And again, I talk about how I'm very close to this.
Yeah.
So obviously I speak about this from a point of frustration. Right?
100%.
I speak about this from a point of anger.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm not getting it.
Yeah.
To me, it's just like I'm mind blown. Like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
You convinced me to leave my job. I've worked for however many years. Maybe she's 60 years old. So I've been working since I was 20 because things were different back then, right? I've been working my mom started working at 21.
Sure.
She's about 56, 57 right now, right? I don't get it. So this thing, it happens once, maybe we can talk.
It happens everywhere. It's not just Joburg. Please, guys.
Shut up.
It happens everywhere.
So it happens, right? It like young shy at adding you. Like I get it. I had a similar story, you know, but for me it was not a Jimmy comes to Joburg type of thing. You know, I was really foolish, right? And I get how you could get scammed.
Like I grew up in Joburg. I've been scammed. So please, has nothing to do with Jimmy comes to Joburg.
So the whole scamming thing, dog.
Yeah.
I really get it. Like
Yeah.
like I said, I get the psychology behind that. I'm just struggling with this number. That's
That's
what
what I'm saying.
struggling
There's a
with.
point of discernment where you sit and you say, Mara.
I struggle with 1.2 year, Sech.
It's overtime,
guys.
Godwa.
But to buy,
I struggle with
but to buy radio.
pension
No,
payouts.
I see. That's where I'm annoyed at the person. You quit your job and you took your pension payout for this person. That's where I'm whiling.
But
over time, it does accumulate.
Guys.
Huh?
Ezilalini mahayeng but to better mihlolo guys.
And also,
like you'll be shocked
and
at
we
what
need to
people
remember that common sense is not so
Once.
common.
I was about to say
What?
Common
exactly
sense is
that.
not so common.
do. Yeah.
You see, what we think is general knowledge.
Yeah.
To another person, it seems
100%.
like a mind-blowing concept.
That is exactly what I was
100%.
about to say. That's
100%.
exactly what I was about to say. I always thought that it was common.
No, common sense is not so common.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. And it's a reality because of society and belief systems and education systems and access to information and whatever
Yeah.
the case may be.
Yeah.
So sometimes we also need to bear in mind that there's other people who think differently and are exposed to different things. They grow up. You see, like a person like that who's willing to give their entire savings to a Makhubela probably grew up in spirituality, grew up doing these things ekhaya where they'll go home, so for them it's entrenched in them to believe this is how you give back because abantu abadala bathi 1, 2, 3, so I need to do ABCD. It's just unfortunately sometimes they go to the wrong people. Those people want to scam them because whether or not you are spiritual as a Makhubela, you might be given a gift. Maybe you do see things. But as a human being, you've also got that thing. You're going to say, yes, I've got this gift and I need to then say the gift. But as a human being, I'm also human and I can also lie. Yeah. Because human beings are also very big liars. That's why Sech was also mentioning there's also different churches where the church person might be ordained to lead the people in the word. But at some point, they also sit back and say, but I can trick these people because I want to buy that Mercedes-Benz. Yes, they've got the gift to spread the word, but they don't have to trick you to get a BMW. Why are they doing that? Do you know what I mean? And that's the human aspect of that leader who then comes in and they become the issue. And that's where you find the portion where people then start thinking twice about spirituality, about religion, about doing izinto. And it's like you're taking away from the core belief that people are actually buying into. I go to church because I want a relationship with God. I do my spiritual things because I want a relationship. I don't do those things because of the person who's directing me. That person's supposed to be there to guide me. They're not supposed to be my beginning and end all. You need to then tap back into the Bible. You tap back into your gifts and your dreams. You tap back into your actual amasiko wagini. This is how we do things at home. You don't listen to some stranger that you met because you got a number from Thabo last week and Thabo got 10,000 from 5,000. That is your problem, Gabe, because it's the same thing as gambling. Why are you doing that?
Yeah, Listen, as we close, a lot is happening in my head.
Yeah, I know.
A lot is happening in my
It's a lot.
head,
It's a
but
lot.
I think great conversation, very, very necessary. I wanted to preempt what was on the spotlight today. We obviously don't have time for it, but I think it's a good conversation to have. So I want to preempt it for next week, and it's something that I want you guys to think about. Right? The context is the Mdoda sisters, so Anele Mdoda and Tembisa Mdoda, and at the back of that, I want you guys to think about this question: is blood thicker than boundaries? Is blood thicker than
Okay.
boundaries?
We'll think about it.
We'll chat about this next week. I see Sech is like...
Sheesh, that's yeah.
So yeah, we'll chat about that next week. Is blood thicker than boundaries?
Alrighty.
Yeah. Look, I want to quote the scripture based on what we talked about. Hosea, right? It's Hosea 4 verse 6. It says that my people perish for a lack of knowledge.
Wow.
Hey guys.
But whose fault is it?
Hey guys.
Whose fault is it that they have a lack of knowledge?
It's their fault.
No.
Whose fault is it?
Situation. Sometimes it's society. Sometimes it's surroundings. Sometimes it's the people. Like a lady, like the lady that he was talking about. For Sech to be in the same position to go to church with a person like that who has a completely different way of thinking, her society is making her lead that way. But Sech is in the same conversation saying, "Oh, I want to do better for myself."
Right.
Which means at that point, her situation is leading her down that path. Sech's community is saying, dream bigger. You can go overseas. You can do more for yourself. Unfortunately, that's just the way of the world.
You always say, what is this? Fool me one time, shame on you. In the context of romantic relationship. What is it that you always say? Yeah, that.
Oh, J. Cole, fool me
Fool
once.
me one time, shame on you.
Yeah.
Fool me
You
twice,
tried
put the blame on something like
Yeah.
that, right? Again, I'll say this. I get it. Once, you fool me, second time you fool me. Nah, I get it. But after that, no. So I think the scripture does apply, yes, situations and all of that, right? Sechaba kyo wilele. I'm sure she's still there
That person,
because she chose
do you know
that.
what the thing is? That lady doesn't think she's being scammed.
But what I'm
There's
saying,
also that. Because what you're talking about fool me once is blame on me, is that you're gonna go there, you're gonna have a situation where you're scammed, you're gonna sit back and reflect and be
And
like,
realize,
"Ah,
oh,
bangishayile la," and then you know better for the next time.
Yeah.
That lady doesn't think she's being scammed.
I hear you. But my thing is, never mind the whole scamming thing. Now we're talking, I get, and you said, what up? What was the conversation?
Yeah, she was trying to have another 7.
Did she have a third?
I don't know. Like, I left that place.
Please check on her.
They
Like,
still. Okay,
talk about
I'll
it
bring an
next week.
update.
You run it back. Wow.
what I'm saying is that fool me once, it's fine. Like, I get it. Like, if it happens, second time, it's okay, right? And then you have a person like Sech who'll talk to her and say, "Yo, my sister, come on. There's a side of life. There's a different perspective and so on and so forth." When that happens and she still chooses to live the way she's living, then it's choice. And then
Bro,
that's just like,
I'm
it
just a
applies.
drop in the ocean that she
Yeah.
comes from.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But guys, it applies.
Sure.
That my people perish. Again, ignorance is bliss.
It is.
It really is bliss. Why when they cheated on you like 10 times, dog, and you're still going back to this guy? Like,
Because she's also been convinced that that's all she can do for herself. She can't leave. We'll get into that another
Sure.
day. We need to wrap it up.
yeah.
But that's
It's a lot. But yeah.
Yeah, it's been a lot. Thank you so much for joining us here on Self Club. Clearly, my days are not happening, so I've passed Valentine's. Thanks.
Wasn't
No thanks.
Cosmo dog intimidates people, dog.
I didn't intimidate
wasn't
anybody.
supposed to be during the week.
Yes.
I'm thinking it's supposed to be.
I haven't gotten a phone call. I haven't gotten a time. I haven't gotten a date. I haven't nothing. I
What's
said
this
I'm
up?
open. Thabang
The guys are intimidated. And I can say, I don't know.
Okay. Anyway, well, clearly I wasn't there, Valentine. Don't worry. We will find another one for me next year. Thank you so much for joining us. Make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, and let us know exactly how you feel about common sense not being so common. Check you next week.
Cheers.